Morning class. 10th graders, how are we doing today? Good? Seems like we're very awake this morning. That's perfect. So, as you can see, we're going to be going over drinking and driving today as part of our health lesson today. Who remembers what aspect of consuming alcohol we went over last class? Someone raise their hand. Remember what we went over? I'm going to have to pick on someone. Taylor, you remember what we went over last time? No? That's all right. We went over underage drinking. So now we're going to move over into what happens when you consume alcohol and you're under the influence of it while you're driving. So we're going to start off with this part of the presentation. So we're going to be going over what it exactly means to be drinking and driving. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go over like what it exactly it all entails, why we shouldn't be doing it, and then we're going to be having some student involvement from you guys in a little bit. Feel free during the presentation, you guys can ask me any questions if necessary, and yeah. All right, so what is drinking and driving? So it's attempting to drive while under the influence of alcohol, which prevents you from making good decisions and you're having proper judgment, which is let alone driving. So what that is referring to is like, you know, if you drink alcohol, it's okay to drink alcohol at times, but obviously if you drink a lot of it, it tends to impair your decisions. And especially like you don't want to be like doing something that's like that'll put you and other people in danger. Like we talked about driving, or you could be on a bike, or you could be, you know. One time I was playing basketball, and these guys came up and they were trying to play basketball with us, and they were not into it. They had just came from a bar, and they were trying to dribble the basketball, and they were kicking it or falling over. But point being, basically what I'm trying to get at is that drinking alcohol can impair your judgment. So you shouldn't even be thinking about driving or even trying to go out anywhere, especially because you're not in the right state of mind. The law in every state requires a person to have a blood alcohol content, which is BAC, of less than 0.08. And that just informs you that if you go and try and drive, you cannot have that much blood in your, alcohol in your bloodstream. And the only state that is different is Utah, which requires a 0.05 instead. I thought that was pretty interesting. But that's just a little fun fact there to kind of show you guys like what is required of us through our states. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a brainstorming session here. So in groups of 3 or 4, which we only have a group of 3 and a group of 4, we're going to brainstorm the consequences that could result from drinking and driving. So I want you guys we'll have this side of the class be a group and this side of the class be a group as well. So if you guys want to get closer together, we're going to talk about, like I said, the consequences that could result from drinking and driving. So take a little bit of time, and when you guys feel like you have like maybe 4 or 5 reasons like why it would be bad, raise your hand and then we can move on. So go ahead. Yeah, that's a good reason. I like how there is more than one person in each group talking. That's really good. You guys are all contributing to the conversation. That was good. This is good. All right, let's bring it back in here. All right, so Kate, what did your group talk about? What did your group bring up about some consequences?
We talked about how it's illegal.
It's breaking the law.
And
For sure. What does DUI stand for?
Driving under the influence.
Yeah, there we go. That's good. That's good. Sam, what did your group talk about?
It can hinder your future.
Yes, it could hurt you physically or other people that are in the vehicle with you, or even outside of the vehicle. You got to remember that it's not just you that could get hurt. It could be a bystander. It could be another person driving in a different car. It could be someone in the car with you. So that's the selfishness that we do not want to have when we are under the influence, because we don't want to put other people in that situation. Anyone else have any other facts they want to share? Hannah?
You can die.
You could die, yes. That is very impactful towards your future, because you wouldn't have a future. Let me think here. Obviously, it affects you pretty mentally, especially if you start drinking at a very young age, like we talked about underage drinking last class. It could affect you for your future, because you won't be in a great mental state, not just like in that time, but it could affect you and how your brain develops over time. So I think that's a pretty big factor in how it could affect you long term. Not only that, but it's money too. Like, if you get into a car wreck, like that's thousands of dollars that you might have to get a new car or to repair your car, or injuries you have to pay for at the hospital. Like, hospital bills are not cheap, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have broken a bone or had to go to the hospital to get help. So that was really good. I like how all of you guys were able to come together and discuss that. All right, so now we have a little bit of a PSA here. I chose this picture of a guy breathing into a breathalyzer, because that's what you do if the police pull you over. You guys want to listen here? Oh, my audio is off. All right, so that was just a little short video on how it kind of explains like a result of what happens when you drink and drive. See in the video, the boy went and brought alcohol to his friend's party, and after that, his mom asked him if he could pick up his sister from someone's house, I'm assuming. And then he, obviously maybe he was underage and he didn't want his parents knowing he was drunk, but he couldn't say, hey, I can't go, I'm drunk, like I'm not able to go. So he had to go pick her up, and they caused him to get into an accident because of his actions. So a few things there, like, she's in the car with him, and that's not safe at all. Like, they got into an accident and most likely they got hurt. So just that situation right there is not safe. I feel in the beginning, he definitely was, if you guys saw, he was definitely very like angsty about going in. You could see him like, he was kind of thumping his leg a little bit. He was trying to make a decision, and he thought about trying to make the best one, but ended up going in with his friends anyway. So sometimes it's even like part of like trying a popularity thing too. Like, you want to go and you want to spend time with your friends. Like I talked about last class, it's not really what's the word, but you don't want to be pulled into those situations. You don't want to be in the wrong group. And that boy was in the wrong group, and it ended up getting him and his sister hurt because of what he did. So, all right, so obviously, like we talked about who it affects. Drinking and driving does not just affect you. Like I said in the end of the video, it could affect your friends and family. It can affect the other people around you. Like if you're driving and you crash into you're under the influence and you crash into like a pole or something like that. You're like, oh my gosh, like I'm hurt. Like you could have hit somebody going into that pole. Like, not only are you hurt and the car's damaged, but someone's legs are shattered, or someone got crashed into the pole and they passed away. Like, we have to think that that's not the only scenario, like where it's not just you. There's other people in that area. So first responders as well. Like, I mean, you can prevent the first responders are trying to save other people, and they're trying to go to other scenes. Like, you got to make sure that you're following the rules and you're following the law, so that they don't have to come and help you. They could be going and helping somebody else, if that makes sense. Because that way, they have more. You're not a liability for them, if that makes sense. All right, so I have this role play script here. I can pass these out, but could I have 2 volunteers come on up for my little role play thing? Awesome. Kobe and Riley, I saw your hands shoot up right away. You guys can come on up. And I'll pass these out so you guys can follow along. It'll be a little bit easier instead of listening to them. Yours are right up there. I'll give them in a second. There you go. All right, so you guys can choose either one.
Boys.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. All right, so you guys. So which one are you?
Bruce?
You're Bruce, and Riley is David. So you can. So whoever is in the start, you can even read Kobe. You can even read like the parentheses part as well. You see where there's like little stuff with parentheses. You can read those as well. So you guys can go ahead and start. You guys can follow along with the paper.
I'm first, yeah. Man, that was so much fun. Did you see what Ryan was doing at the bar? He is so going to regret ever looking at that girl.
Bro, if he didn't tell him to stop, she was going to totally whack upside the head with her empty bottle.
So true, bro. Anyways, how about we head home now? It's already past 2 a.m.
Sounds good to me, man. Let me just grab my keys.
I'm pretty sure neither of us should be driving at this hour, let alone with the mental state we are in after consuming some beers.
Nah, man. We are totally fine. Trust me. This isn't my first rodeo. Remember that time when Eric, Brewmaker, and I drove home from Alice during Aubrey? We each had about a dozen prior to the trip.
That was like a 15-hour drive.
I know, and we never stopped for breaks. Also, it was only 14 hours. We cut off an hour because we were hitting 160 miles per hour the entire way.
Bruce, that's still not a good excuse for wanting to drink and drive. It's not safe. Someone could get hurt.
Dude, don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Snatching those car keys away.
David, give me those back. I want to drive home.
Not a chance, my guy. It's too dangerous, and I will not stand by and watch my friend get hurt because he's not making the right decisions.
All right, fine. So how are we getting home? Uber?
Even better, the others just walked out and Tyler hasn't tasted alcohol at all. I bet he will give us a ride.
Cool beans. Let's go. Those two friends wake up after a long night, turn on the TV to watch a show, and the news is on. David, look! It's the highway we took to get home last night. Apparently there was a huge car wreck. The broadcast reads, breaking news! A college student was driving home when he collided with another vehicle on the road, sending his car into the median, and as a result, it was totaled. What could have caused the student to cause such a scene? He was under the influence of alcohol.
See, that could have been us. How smart was it that we got a ride from Tyler last night?
You were right, man. Thanks for looking out for me. You are a great friend.
You don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You guys did a great job. Great job. So, what can you guys tell me? What was the appropriate decision that David did? Anyone raise their hand? Got an idea? Yes. Yeah, he took the keys, and sometimes it calls for drastic measures. You got to take some stuff from your friend, because it's not, you don't want to see them get hurt, and you don't want to be, because technically, if you let them go, you're letting it happen. You're an advocate for their decisions. So definitely taking the keys was the smart idea. Just a little bit of some driving facts, drinking driving facts. In 2017, almost 11,000 people died in drinking and driving car crashes. One in every 48 minutes, which is like crazy, because like when I looked at that stat, I was like, that's literally less than one every hour. Like that, like in the amount of time we've been sitting in this class, one person has died from a drinking and driving accident. And 300,000 people were injured in accidents related to drunk driving. And I think that's crazy. Like, there's so many people that could prevent these incidents from happening because they can just not drive, or they can call someone to help get them. In 2019, drunk driving deaths represented 28% of all traffic accidents, totaling about 36,000 deaths. And then about 1/4 of car crashes with teenagers involved an underage drinker. Just like I talked to you guys about before last class, underage drinking is not safe. And especially when you try and get behind the wheel, like not only are you a younger person that is not well developed enough to handle alcohol, you're new to driving. And that those two should not mix at all. Actually, those three, your age, drinking, and driving. All right, so this is another fun thing we have here. Does anybody would like to try the drunk goggles here to kind of get a vision of like what a scenario would be? Kate? Yeah, go ahead. Maybe we'll get someone else up here. Here you go. All right, give me a high five. That works, sure. Okay, so if you want to turn here for a second, do you see the basketball hoop right there?
Yes.
Yeah, don't run into that. Here, you want the ball? Oh, there we go. All right, go ahead and try and shoot it. Oh my, you missed really bad there, Kate. Here, let's try it again. Oh man, have you done this before? I hope not. All right, there we go. So, as you guys can see, thank you, Kate, very much. Yeah, try and walk back with the goggles. So that was just a little bit of an example of what it's like to be under the influence of alcohol. Obviously, I can't show you guys a test with drinking and driving, because obviously that's way too unsafe, and we're on the top of a tower. But I'm really glad you guys had a great time with this lesson. I feel like you guys learned a lot, and I'm really glad to see you guys collaborated well with the conversation. So here are my references. Oh, wait, I have a biblical integration real quick. Ephesians 5:18, do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. So if you think about like going out and partying with your friends and drinking alcohol and maybe even getting drunk over the limit, like maybe even dive into the Word. Maybe go hang out with your friends that aren't drinking or stuff like that, because it's way more impactful positively on your life than it is to be under the influence of alcohol. And there are my references.